My name is Dulcie Whitford. I'm 28 years old. For more than 20 years, I lived inside a mansion that never once felt like home. In that house, there were only two roles: the golden child and the mistake. My sister Miranda was the golden one. I was the cautionary tale. At family dinners, my father would introduce us like this: "This is Miranda, Harvard-bound future CEO." And then, after a pause just long enough to sting, "And this is Dulcie." That was it. No achievements, no adjectives, just my name. When I was 7, a school counselor told my parents I had dyslexia. She explained it gently, carefully. "She processes language differently," she said, "but she's highly intelligent." My parents didn't hear that part. They heard defective. Letters didn't just blur for me, they moved. They rearranged themselves like they were alive. Reading felt like trying to catch fish with my bare hands. But numbers, patterns, systems, those felt steady. No one noticed. Because in our family, intelligence had one definition: Harvard. Childhood Miranda had violin recitals at Lincoln Center. I had extra reading classes in a beige room that smelled like dry erase markers and disappointment. At 12, I once asked my mother for a specialized tutor trained in dyslexia. She didn't look up from her phone. "Dulcie, we've already invested so much in you. At some point, effort has to meet ability." Effort has to meet ability. I carried that sentence like a scar. Meanwhile, Miranda had $400 an hour SAT coaches, summer programs in Switzerland, French immersion tutors, private debate mentors, and I had patience. From one person, my grandmother, Grandma Eleanor. Grandma Eleanor didn't see me as broken. Every Sunday I took the subway to her Upper West Side apartment. It smelled like chamomile tea and old books. She never rushed me. She never sighed when I stumbled over words. Instead, she did something revolutionary. She taught me differently. She'd spread out company contracts on her dining table. "Don't read the words," she'd say. "Look at the structure." And suddenly I could see it. Where money flowed, where power shifted, where someone was hiding leverage. "You don't read like a lawyer," she once said. "You read like an architect." That sentence changed my life. Christmas 2018. The chandelier light reflected off crystal glasses. My father stood. "Miranda has been accepted to Harvard Law. Full ride." Applause thundered. Then he looked at me. "And Dulcie is finding her own pace." Laughter. Miranda laughed too. Under the table, Grandma squeezed my hand so tight it almost hurt. Her eyes were furious. 3 months later, she handed me a mahogany box. "Keep this safe," she whispered. "You'll know when to open it." College years. I didn't go to Harvard. I went to a state university. I worked twice as hard for half the recognition. But something happened there. Without constant comparison, I started to grow. Professors noticed my strategic thinking. Group projects became easier when I handled logistics. I graduated with honors in business systems analysis. My parents barely attended. Miranda's graduation? A private yacht dinner. Mine? A handshake and a polite smile. Joining Whitford Properties, I applied anyway. I wanted to prove I belonged. My father hired me as an administrative assistant, $42,000 a year. Miranda joined the same year as chief legal counsel, $280,000 plus bonuses. Every morning, I walked past her corner office. My desk was near the copy room. Invisible. But invisibility is powerful, because when no one sees you, they talk freely. And I listened. And I noticed patterns. Deals structured strangely. Investments shifted quietly. Share allocations modified subtly. Grandma's lessons were unfolding in real time. Grandma's illness, pancreatic cancer, is cruel. It doesn't knock loudly, it steals quietly. I was the only one who stayed overnight at hospice. Miranda visited twice. My parents were too busy. Grandma held my hand. "You see what they don't," she whispered. "Promise me you won't forget that." She passed 3 days later. The box stayed unopened. I wasn't ready. April 2024. The email came at 6:14 p.m. Position restructuring. Effective July 1st. I was being terminated. That night I stayed late. Through the thin office wall I heard my father say, "We can't have her here when Miranda takes over. It weakens the image." And then, "Some children just don't have what it takes." I froze. That sentence again. I went home and stared at the mahogany box, still didn't open it. Not yet. May 15th, 2024, Plaza Hotel, 350 guests, string quartet, champagne towers. Miranda wore ivory silk. I wore a black Zara dress, $79. My mother directed me to table 27, near the service entrance, hidden behind a pillar. On stage, my father announced, "Miranda inherits the Park Avenue property, the Tesla, and the future of Whitford Properties." Standing ovation. No one looked at table 27. Then a man approached, silver hair, calm eyes. "Jonathan Ellis, your grandmother's attorney." He handed me an envelope sealed in a red wax. "Open it now." Inside, 51% ownership of Whitford Properties. Full voting control. Estimated value, $47 million. Condition, convene emergency board meeting within 72 hours. My hands trembled. "There's more," he said. "Use the box." The box back in my apartment, I opened it. Documents, share certificates, and a USB labeled 2018 recording. I plugged it in. My father's voice filled the room. "We'll dilute her shares quietly. She won't notice." Silence. Grandma had known. She had recorded everything. She hadn't protected the empire. She had protected me. The board meeting, May 18th, 9 a.m., 11 directors. My father red-faced, Miranda furious. I sat opposite them, calm. "I hold 51% voting control." "Forgery," my father shouted. I pressed play. The recording echoed through the room. One director whispered, "That's attempted fraud." The vote came quickly, 7-4. Gerald Whitford removed as CEO. He stared at me like he didn't recognize me. Maybe he didn't. Mercy. I could have destroyed him. I didn't. "Resign gracefully," I said. "Keep your pension."